on our senior trip, we went to Tennessee. And we were like, I think we were in Gatlinburg, and one of the things we did was we went whitewater rafting.
Whitewater wafting.
Whitewater wafting.
Whitewater wafting.
And they made us pair up, right? And all of my friends immediately paired up with each other to not get stuck with Leroy, and I got stuck with Leroy. I was super pissed.
Wait, so did you guys like him or did you not like him?
We didn't like him.
What the fuck? You started this story with our friend Leroy or some shit.
No, our classmate Leroy.
And then you described him as like the nerdy character out of every early 90s movie, and then you said he had a giant dick. So you're giving me a lot of mixed messages here.
He was a nice guy. He was just very weird, and not like the way that Kevin and I are weird.
Wait, you guys are weird?
We didn't. We didn't. Yeah, like Joey said, no one like disliked him. It just no one was really friends with him.
I hope he hears this one day.
Anyways, he's not the kind of guy you would want to be partners with whitewater rafting. I'll tell you that.
Because he's a large man.
Well, and he's not very coordinated either. So like they told us, if you fall out, this is the most important thing we're going to tell you. If you fall out of the raft, then do not float down the river head first. Turn around and float down on your back, feet first, and keep your feet together, not spread apart,
so
that you won't
arrow.
get pegged in the crotch by rocks.
Right.
And so Leroy like immediately falls out of the raft and is screaming, floating headfirst down the river. And the raft guy's like yelling at him, turn around, and he finally does, and he's completely spread eagle. He does like the two things they tell you not to do. And it took forever to get him back in the boat. He was like flailing around when we finally caught up to him.
Were you responsible for getting him back in the boat?
I had to help, yeah. And he's just uncoordinated, flopping around like he's going to drag you in, you trying to get him in the boat. It was a disaster.
Wait, okay, I'm not asking this as a joke. I thought this was leading to how you guys knew he had a giant dick. Is this
I
not
think it was
the
on.
story?
I think it was on that trip because we like changed into our bathing suits and stuff there, and I think someone saw him in the change. He was like walking around naked in the changing room,
right?
And as you do if you have a giant hog.
Well, no, I think the way it was described to me was he was totally unaware of the size of his hog. Like he wasn't walking around or acting as if, look at my big dick. He seemed to think like this is a normal sized penis.
How old were you all at this time?
Like 18.
So that answers the pedophile question too, I guess. Then
I think y'all were younger.
On the scene? Oh, when we saw his penis?
Yeah. You're talking about like a 17-year-old's penis right now, Kevin.
Okay, sure.
Well, it's,
do you think
I don't want to say same subject, sort of same subject. Back to my girlfriend that I was telling you about.
Please, of course.
So, like,
man, that was a leap.
I met this girl on Tinder, and, like, first time we went out, we went to a bar, had some drinks, whatever. The next time we go out, we're, like, going around. My buddy Frankie is with us, and Frankie's gay. And so we always, like, went to our bars, and that night he was just like, hey, can we go to Club 1, which is the gay bar? And we're like, okay, he always goes to our bars. Like, we'll go to the gay bar with him.
And
like,
you were like, on principle, absolutely not. I don't approve of that lifestyle. That's what you said.
That is not what I said.
Oh, okay.
So anyways, we get to this bar. We all show our IDs, and I look back, and my date, Emily, is still talking to the bouncers. I'm like, what's going on? So I go out there, and basically they're telling her, this isn't you in the photo. Like, this isn't your ID. And she's like, yes, it is. That's me. And like, okay, what's your address? And she's like, couldn't say it.
Wait.
So
they didn't.
She had a fake ID.
Okay,
she
it was a
21.
fake ID. Okay.
I'm 23 at the time, mind you. So they tell her, like, okay, we'll give you your ID back if a police officer says it's okay. So there's some police officers around the corner. You can go get them. We'll get your ID. And she's swearing that it's her ID. And so, like, we walk out. I'm like, okay, well, let's go get the police officer. She's like, well,
wait.
So there's something I got to tell you. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm like, what? And she's like, I'm actually 19. And I'm 23 at the time.
She didn't memorize her address on her fake ID.
No.
Isn't that like the #1 thing that you do?
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway,
but I mean, a lot of cute girls don't get hassled about that stuff. A lot of bartenders just let them in. Just the way it is.
As a cute girl, I know.
But yeah. Anyways, she was about to turn 20. If you do the math, if you follow like the rule, you know the rule for like determining how young a girl can be if you can date them.
I would like to hear you describe it.
It's half your age plus 7, and then it's deemed.
That's
for
not
some
half
reason,
your age minus 7?
That would be much lower. Half your age plus 7, half my age at the time plus 7 would be like 18 and a half or whatever, and she was about to turn 20. So I'm like, okay, I don't really feel bad about dating her or anything. So I kept dating her, even though it started off on a lie.
Right.
Mainly because I found her very attractive.
Okay.
But yeah, after that, my friends kept hassling me about dating teenagers.
Right.
My friends would stand up while we're playing, like, we go trivia every Thursday night, and be like, hey, Joey, how's your 16-year-old girlfriend, whatever, just
Right.
using whatever excuse they can to make it sound like I'm a pedophile.
Sure.
Dating a teenager.
Right.
Well, that was that girl. She also, while we were dating, got in a really bad car wreck. And I'm not shitting you, it looked like someone had beat the shit out of her face. Like, it looked like someone had pummeled her face. So every time I'm with her, motherfucker.
So everybody looks at you like, yeah,
thinks that I like beat the shit out of her because her eyes were like blackened, basically.
Luke thinks that's really funny.
Yeah, we were going to go to a. This was a couple weeks. It had healed a bit, but you could still tell like her eyes were still bruised. And we were gonna go to a military ball, and I'm like, she's like, I'm feeling okay to go. I'm like, there's no way I'm going to this thing because like spousal abuse in the military is like a thing that happens kind of frequently.
It's like the number one pastime, yeah.
If I go, there is no doubt in my mind that a bunch of like high-ranking officers are gonna think that I just beat my girlfriend. Because it's
and you don't want to correct them because they don't want you to. They don't.
I just don't want to deal with that because even if I say like, oh, she got in a car wreck. Somebody's still going to think, yeah, this guy just beats his girlfriend.
Right, and they're going to think that not only did you beat her, that you didn't even finish the job. And
that's what they're going to...
Right.
That was my concern.
And in
they
the
think
military,
I wasn't good enough.
Right, if you're going to do one thing, you're going to have to do it right.
Exactly.
Tell Luke about the time you took our cousin to prom.
Oh, my Jesus Christ.
Okay, no.
You love to bring this up.
Stop.
It was more that she was just in town. I was just being nice and saying, hey, you want to go to our prom with us? Because, she's visiting, whatever.
Tell me
We're
about
going to be
your
gone for a
cousin
night.
first.
Did I what?
Tell me about your cousin first. I need this.
Literally, she just came with us to prom on
with
my
Joey
ticket as my +1. I swear, oh my Jesus Christ.
So, is she nice?
Yes.
Well,
it was just a nice thing that I was doing. I can't ever get credit for being a nice person.
Right.
There's always got to be some.
Okay, let me tell you the way that I remember it is Joey couldn't get a date to prom, and someone suggested, "Why don't you ask your cousin?"
Is she half of your age?
He's not. That is so incorrect.
Wait. Is she half of your age +7?
She's
older than us.
Well, then there you go. This
Joey
sounds like a good match.
Our cousin's a cougar.
Oh my god.
How much older is she than you?
She's older than Kevin.
Older than Kevin? That's impossible. Nobody's older than Kevin.
I think she was born the same year as Kevin. Just
no,
earlier.
she's like 2 years older than me.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What's your cousin? Well, okay. Out of respect for your family, I'm not going to ask any further questions. All I'm going to ask is, did you have a nice time at prom?
It was
Did
fine.
she have a nice time at prom?
I believe so.
Joey showed her a really good time.
I'm glad you're reading in between the lines.
Have you told her about the time that I exposed myself to one of our cousins?
He was 2,
I was
he
2.
gets a little bit of a pass for that one.
Look how hard it's raining, Kev. What are you doing?
First time he met our cousin,
this is
he
a
was very
different
shy-
cousin.
Different cousin.
Okay.
Very shy around her for a while, and then once he decides, you know what, you're okay, he walks up to her, says, "I show you my wee-wee," and drops his diaper.
Nice.
And is like I approve of you.
And then 18 years later, you took her to prom. So ultimately, you got what you wanted.
This was a different one.
Sure, it was.
He was thinking of her when he took the other one to prom.
My lord.
Kev, have you ever shown your penis to a stranger or a family member?
No.
Why
never
not?
shown your penis to a stranger? You've never hooked up with anybody?
Oh. Well, not like a complete stranger
Well,
that I like just met that night and
No,
then
they're
never saw
missing
again.
out.
I'm not including that. I'm not including
Oh.
sexual encounters. I'm asking you, Kevin, if you have ever exposed yourself in the same way that your brother exposed himself to the cousin that he would eventually admit his feelings for at prom 18 years later.
Uh-huh.
I'm asking if you had any situations like that. I haven't. I'm a well-adjusted adult. I've never shown my penis to anybody, ever, including Emily.
How do you have a kid then?
We just keep it dark in the room.
Luke makes her wear a blindfold when they have sex. Because he's ashamed of his body.
So, well, that's true, but it's only true in the last, I've only been ashamed of my body for the past, 6 years, I would say. Why is my gas button
that must
not
be
working?
nice.
I think these are electric parts.
What the fuck? Why is... Shut the fuck up. Why is this not... There it goes. That's a real thing, though. I told Kevin about this, but the town that I grew up in was taken over by Hasidic Jews. And
Taken over?
Acidic Jews?
yeah, acidic. Like, they're able to spit acid.
I thought that was just all Jews.
Wait, okay. I'm taking from this conversation that you are not familiar with an Hasidic Jew with an H.
I think, aren't they like the super traditional ones?
Yes, they're kind of like Orthodox, but like a step further than Orthodox.
Right.
This is a real thing. Maybe
They're
I
the ones
haven't
with the
talked about
curly
it on
pigtails.
here. Yeah, Kev, the ones with the... How is it that you are able to say the most anti-Semitic thing in this conversation? Your brother literally just said all Jews spit acid, and somehow you managed to be more offensive to an entire group of people. No, fucking, this is a real shit. Maybe I haven't talked about it on here. It's a small town, like super small town, and this guy showed up, and he started buying all this land, and he's like, I'm going to build golf courses. And everybody's like, cool, that's nice. Like, that'll be nice. And then he's like, just kidding, I'm actually going to build, like, high-rise apartments. And this is a town of, like, 400 people. So there are no apartment buildings, right? Mm-hmm. So he shows up and he starts doing that, and then he moves people into them from Brooklyn, but they don't actually live there. And then they all come up to vote. So they voted in like this little election, and they voted for this guy to be mayor. And then he literally took over the town. And then the FBI came and raided like 18 like houses in Bloomingburg, New York. And arrested this dude. Wow. So that's a real thing. So It's not just being anti-Semitic. That's a true thing that happened. That Hasidic Jews took over this town. So I want to reiterate, I'm the least anti-Semitic in the room currently.
You are the least?
Yeah.
Why?
Because you... What the fuck was that?
That was...
I think I am. One of my best friends is Jewish.
Well, I look like one. So...
and I still choose to be a friend with you.
That both of those things were more anti-Semitic than anything I've said.
Can we talk about the book that I sent you, speaking of anti-Semitism?
Goblin Universe?
No, not Goblin Universe.
Ask Goblins of
Auschwitz.
I have something great that I showed Kevin earlier.
Oh, hit me.
I saw. Let me see if I can find the picture of it. This was a Reddit post. It was a screenshot of a question someone had asked, and the title of this is, "How do I stop my husband from going, quote, goblin mode during sex?" It's like, my husband says goblin mode activated when we start having sex, growls and acts like a caveman, then says goblin mode off when we stop, and then pretends not to know what I'm talking about when I ask him about it. And now that's just something I want to do. Goblin mode.
There's no way.
Activated.
There's no way that was written as like a thing that actually happened. That was definitely somebody being like, "This is hilarious."
Well,
goblin is a very funny word.
It is.
It's one of my favorite words.
Did Kevin tell you? And we don't need to rehash this entire thing, but has Kevin told you about Goblin Universe?
Maybe.
Briefly. Okay. I just told you like an hour before he got, like as he was on his way here, I told you about it.
I probably wasn't listening. Sometimes you just talk and I just...
yeah.
Well, you know what it's like when our mom's over and she just talks repeatedly for 3 hours straight.
I actually do.
So I've gotten into the habit, which is like what Dad does a lot, where I've mastered the art of listening but not actually retaining anything.
Uh-huh.
So that my mind can wander while someone's talking to me.
Who's more like your dad, you or Kevin?
Probably him.
Well, I was expecting you guys to fight, so...
No.
You kind of fucked me up on that one.
Well, my dad was a pilot. I'm a pilot. That's about it.
Yeah.
That sounds boring.
I'm much more fit than Kevin is. My dad's always pretty fit.
Yeah, that's also true.
I don't think you're... I feel like Kevin's pretty fit.
Is that a joke?
Kevin's good at fitness.
Fitness. Pizza
Kevin,
in my mouth.
You go to the gym more than me, so...
I know, but it has zero effect on my body.
It's because
it does have an effect. You just don't see it yet.
Yeah, you just don't. You gotta just believe more. Are you believing?
Fitness
while
isn't
you're
like
there?
Santa Claus. You can't just believe that it's there
Yes,
even
it
if
is.
you don't see it.
Yes, it is.
Actually, mentality's pretty big when it comes to.
When it comes to losing weight, if I just believe in myself more, then I'll be less fat.
No, but
Yes.
I think I told you briefly about. Someone's calling me. No, I'm not fucking answering a work call right now. Sorry, I'm on leave.
You're working.
No, I'm
Fuck in
not.
the butt.
No, like the physiology of this, like sports science regarding exercise is super important. I'm not gonna get super far into it, but
I mean,
I
actually
told Kevin a lot about it because he was telling me how he's been working out a lot, which is great, but he's not seeing progress.
Well, doesn't
He's
it?
gotta, like, keep-
Is it not true that like the progress that's being made doesn't show immediately? Like it has to get to a certain point.
Well, here's what I
first?
was telling him.
Muscular
Obviously,
shit
just
and all that?
stating facts here. Kevin has quite a bit of work to do. But my point is, he could very well be building muscle, and he's not seeing it under like the fat that's on his body. Because I've been in the same spot before, for the record, where like I'm working out and I know I'm getting stronger and I'm doing it, but you're not seeing the progress. And that's the reason that a lot of people stop, is because they don't see progress quickly. But the thing is, like, you could be building muscle, getting stronger, so you're putting on muscle and losing fat, but you're not seeing it because there's still fat on top and your muscles aren't like showing yet. So you don't look
fair.
like you're getting better. You're not losing weight. And that's what people think should be happening. But in reality, instead of being like, I don't know, like 30% body fat, you're now 25% body fat, and it's been replaced by muscle. So you don't see the progress.
Do you feel better, Kev?
No.
You could also be eating a lot of
I feel
stuff that.
angrier.
What's the fucking? It's like everybody eats like sugar and all kinds of shit that's like inflammatory, and
Yeah.
like the more inflamed your whole shit is,
Yeah.
the worse you feel and the less all that shit works.
Yeah.
I really wanted to start running again. I had this crazy idea where I was like, what if I just sign up for a 5K, like a
To
year
force
out?
yourself to train for it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, I never broke 20, and I always wanted to break 20 minutes, Kev.
On
I know.
5K?
Yeah, on a 5K. The best I ever did was like, and I was like the dead middle / like edging towards the shitty part of the team.
Oh,
like
you're an edger.
Yeah, I was edging. I was edging on my high school team. Every day in the locker room. But I wasn't like good at it, but I was like personally I was trying to be better because I was like, well, it's making me like healthier, except it's destroying my knees, but whatever. I don't plan to live that far past like 38, so it's fine. But anyways, I was like, I feel like if I just sign up for a 5K with the intention of trying to beat a best time from childhood, like I'll obviously never do it, but at least
That attitude.
maybe if Kevin comes with me, we can do it together.
I very much doubt Kevin will run a 5K.
Have you
Nope.
ever run a 5K, Kev?
Nope.
Have you ever run a mile?
Yeah.
What was your best mile time?
Like 10 minutes.
Oh, okay. That's considerably worse than I was thinking.
Yep.
But you're so long.
But I'm so fat and I have flat feet.
Yeah.
And I can't run fast.
What do you mean you have flat feet?
I have flat feet.
Prove it.
Look at my fucking feet.
You don't want to do that. you will look at his toes.
No, I have weird toes too, but not as weird as Kev.
Mine are pretty bad.
You got
I'd started to get promoted advertisements on like Reddit and elsewhere for fungus feet stuff because I guess I've said it enough that my phone now knows. And
Wait, what do you mean you've said it enough?
like I've just talked about my fungus toes, and your phone listens to you, and so it knows what to advertise
Of
to
course
you.
it does.
And so I'm getting all these targeted ads for foot fungus treatment, and all the pictures of fungus toes look so much better than mine. I'm like, that's not a normal toe that has fungus on it. It's like that I think you should leave bit. Is that the joke, that my farts don't smell as bad as they usually do?
That I farted and nobody threw up? Because that'd be a good day for me. I fucking said to myself in the car before I got here, I said, we're not going to quote I think you should leave on this one. And look what you've done.
It's unavoidable.
Yeah, I know.
There's an I think
it's
you should
verbal
leave
time.
quote for every situation.
This is going to be good weather for a wedding. This is going to be great.
Is it an outside wedding?
I don't fucking know. It's barely a wedding as far as I'm. No, I don't. It's Emily's friends, or Emily's friend. I don't care. I'm honestly though, I'm just happy to be going to a wedding that doesn't require 4 days of travel in a hotel.
Oh yeah.
And all that shit. Like the fact that it's just like 10 minutes. It's where Muddy Creek used to be. So it's like 10 minutes from my house, and I was like, this is pretty nice.
Yeah, that's not
Oh
bad.
my god.
How
Joey,
the fuck do I get hit with something home?
what's the most embarrassed you've ever been in your life?
I already told you. It was the printing off the porn.
That's the most embarrassed you've ever been in your life?
Yes. Do you know how terrible that is to happen in 10th grade?
I guess that's true.
Yeah, that was pretty bad. It's funny now though. At least it's a good story.
It is funny now.
Yeah, and also too, I mean, it's like, of all things, like, it's just porn. It's fine. It wasn't like a picture of like Leroy, like with his dick out that he gave you privately or something.
That would have been child porn. But yes.
Is that Kevin's most embarrassing moment then? No, I had a friend of mine who, he doesn't listen to this and he never will. But if he does, he'll love that the story's being shared. He got a cyst. I can't believe I haven't told you this before, Kev. He got a cyst like right above his butt crack.
Oh, you've told me this.
Have I told you this?
Yeah.
Did I tell it on this?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. So he got a cyst like above his butt crack, and we're like, haha, like that's really funny. You have a cyst on your butt. Oh, whatever.
Motherfucker.
And he actually did fuck a mom. That was his first time.
You fucked a mom?
Yeah, I won't say his name now because just in case he does. When he was like 16 years old, he had this huge crush on this girl, and then the girl did not think that he was interesting in any way, but she did fuck his older brother.
Nice.
But then he was at the house, and he was like, I'm really sad that your daughter doesn't like me. And she was like, oh.
I'll fuck you.
Well, and then she did all these like really hilarious like 80s mom tropes that would be in movies. Like it literally sounds like it was like a sad version of The Graduate. And she like made him like kielbasa, and they ate kielbasa really suggestively, and then afterwards he absolutely
took her to Bone Town.
Yeah, he
Nice.
took. Yeah, that's exactly what, and that's what he said too.
Has Kevin ever told you about our cruise?
Your cruise?
Yeah, we went on a family cruise.
No, tell me that first, but then remind me to come back to the butthole cyst.
No, this was funny because we went on a cruise, and it was like a family cruise with our immediate family and then our cousins and stuff, aunt and uncle. And Kevin and I had
Was it the
adjacent
cousin
rooms.
you took to prom?
No.
Okay, that would have been nice.
The cousin.
This is the cousin he exposed himself to.
Oh.
But anyways, Kevin and I had adjacent rooms that were connected by a door. So there's actually two stories here. One, I was pretty happy. I found a cruise boo on the first night.
A cruise boo?
Cruise boo, yeah.
Okay, the
We
context
just-
clues. I'm following you.
We just hooked up every night.
Sure. Kev, did
But
you have a cruise
I was
boo?
obviously
No.
like
Okay.
I was obviously so drunk the whole time.
Right.
So performance was not my best.
Sure. Well,
let's
isn't
put it
that the
that way.
point though? Right? It doesn't
One
matter.
one morning I woke up with a condom on,
Uh-huh.
and I didn't realize it was on. So I go to pee, like first thing in the morning, and I'm like having trouble peeing. I'm like, what the fuck? It feels like I just can't pee. It feels like I'm like trying to inflate a water balloon or something with my dick. And then I look down and there's still condom on, and I'm like
Sure enough.
literally making a water balloon with urine.
Right.
So that happened. But one of the mornings, like Kevin wakes up, and he didn't wake up. We just come back from
An excursion.
a port call. Yeah, we just come back from a port call.
Okay.
And he
it
thinks
started
he's being
raining
funny.
while we were out.
Yeah.
So I came back, my clothes were soaking wet, and I had to change. And I took all my clothes off, and I heard Joey in the next room. I heard the door open and close and rummaging around in there and stuff. So I don't know if he knows if I'm back or not. So, oh, fucking bitch, fuck. And and so I just burst through the middle door in nothing but my underwear and scream and hold my hands up
he
like,
does like he goes
and it's the cleaning lady.
spoke no English.
Spoke no English and was very confused. It goes, oh, I come back? I come back? Like, no, I'm sorry.
And you're like, no, just stay. And then you had a cruise boo. Oh, fucking God. I hate this.
Yeah,
I
see,
fucking
so
hate
here's
this
here's
one.
like something that wouldn't happen with guys, because that, like I found the cruise boo the first night. I was literally just in. Stop fucking calling me, lady. I'm not answering you. They fucking know I'm on leave. I have someone that's on assumption of command that can fucking do my shit. Okay, so anyways, literally in this bar, and I was wearing these nice, like those burlap pants that look like beach pants.
Okay.
They were very cool. Made my ass look phenomenal, by the way. And she literally comes up to me and says, like,
Burlap pants.
she smacks my butt and goes, man, you have a really nice ass. And then...
And it
she's
was
like-
love.
She's like, want to go back to your room? And like 30 seconds, that's all it was. And then I left. And that's like the easiest or the least effort I've ever put into anything. But just imagine it from my angle. I go up to some girl that I think has a nice butt. I'm like, smack it and go, you have a nice ass. Want to go back to my room? Do you think that would ever work for me?
Have you tried it?
No, and I wouldn't.
Well, I mean, it sounds like you're kind of having a defeatist attitude. I think you should maybe try it. I think you should try it before you knock it. That's how Kevin...
No, I don't think I should because that is uncouth. I don't mind it. Happening to me.
Speaking of asses again, bring us back to the butthole cyst.
Oh, yeah, that's right. The butthole
yeah, I forgot
cyst.
about
Wait, I forgot how I even got there. The point was that he had a butthole cyst, and he was really in a lot of pain, had a fever. He was almost septic, and everybody was like, oh, he might die. It's kind of funny. And they went, and we took him to the hospital, and they popped his butthole cyst, and then his brother was talking to us. Oh, embarrassing stories. That's how we got there. And we're in this waiting room in this hospital with all these people, and his brother goes around the corner, but like is in front, like he's not out of the room, he's just behind a wall. And he goes like, he's like, oh yeah, the nurses were taking care of it, and they were like, this is the hairiest butthole they've ever seen. they were like asking him if they should take out some extra hair because they were thinking that the hair from the butthole like slid up, and that's what caused the cyst, and that maybe he was sitting too much. So they were like, you must be really lazy with the hairiest butthole we've ever seen. And then they were like, let's get extra hair out of the butthole cyst to try to keep it from coming back, you know?
Resisting.
And then he comes back and he's like, yeah, I talked to my parents. They're worried, but he's fine. And it was all like people around our age, because I guess it was like the day after a Friday night where everybody goes to get their stomach pumped in a college town. So like they were all like still in there, and it was pretty cool. And then it was like there were kids from his class, and then I just remember him going to class, and it was like girls that he knew of, like a girl that he had kind of had a crush on, hearing the story about his hairy butthole, and it just stuck with me. So that was a good embarrassing one. I've never had anything embarrassing happen to me. Look at me. I think we might have to call it, and I gotta go home anyway. I have a baby. I can't be messing around with you fucking.
Neglecting your child for butthole stories.
Exactly. Anyways, this was terrible. Let's never do this again. Maybe we should just end this whole project here, Kev. Because
Go out on a high note.
yeah, we're not famous yet. What's the point? Okay. All right. Fuck.
Thank you for watching Von Wolf Brain. This is Stephen Hawking's cousin, Stephen Eaglein. I am just as smart as him and more alive than him, and I watch Von Wolf Brain every day and I love it. Oh god, I love it. Please consume more content. Click here. Or here. Or here. Thank you. I love you. Goodbye. Love. Von Wolf Brain.